they started this physical therapy. They would bring this bike that straddled the bed. It's basically like a Peloton for people who lay on their backs. And so I would lay on my back and I would pedal this bike. And the thing that they did was this. They said, Zach, it had the screen on it, and you could watch this video like you're traveling through the mountains or a suburb or whatever. And they said, just act like you're riding with Titus and Lily. And that's what I did. I thought to myself that I was back at Davis Chapel on the backside of Carwin Road, and me and the kids were on our bikes. And the first time they came in, they were like, just do the best you can do, because we want to see if you can physically be able to handle the surgery. And, you know, I started off, and I went, and it was amazing because people just kind of suddenly filtered into the room. And there was a whole crowd of people anyway, because you had like these perfusionists who were there holding the ECMO lines, and the doctors were there monitoring everything, and the nurses would be there monitoring stuff. And, you know, you already had a crowd there anyway. But, you know, more people began to filter in because it went from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to, you know, 15 minutes or whatever the case was. And like, they were just blown away because I had not been able to move. So it was like, how is this happening? So to tell you that, I'll tell you this. I came home. It's probably the fall of 2021. And I love, like, one of my things that I love is mail. Like, I don't know if it's the small kid in me that still thinks about Christmas all the time, but like any package that comes to the house, I want to open up. You know, any letter, I'm opening it up. I love diving into mail, and it's the excitement of what is behind that thing. And so, Dwayne Kitts is our mail carrier up there at the house. I love Dwayne. Went to church with Dwayne, served with him. He's a wonderful person. And we had some wonderful talks up there in our driveway. So Dwayne came by the house one day, and he dropped off a letter, or the mail, and in the mail was a letter from a lady from Oliver Springs. Now, my mom's side and my dad's side live in Morgan County. And I've got cousins who go to church at Oliver Springs, and I've driven through Oliver Springs my whole life. So I was familiar with the area. And, but I thought, I don't know who this person is. So get done talking, head towards the house, open it up, and there's this woman who describes to me that she goes to church at Beach Park Baptist in Oliver Springs. I have a cousin who goes there, him and his family. He plays the piano there at Beach Park. And she said, hey, you don't know me, and I don't really know you, but I kind of know your circumstances, and I've been keeping up with you through your cousin Adam and Pastor Robbie. And she kind of gave a quick summary of everything, and she was like, but what I'm about to tell you is you need to take on faith, and like need to take with faith. And I was going, well, that's weird. You know, like, or what are we getting ready to read? And she said, I began praying for you while you were in the hospital. And she said, I was so focused on praying for you that I prayed for you over and over and over. And while I was praying for you, she said, over the course of time, she said, I began to have these visions in my dreams about your hospital room. And I was thinking, well, okay, wasn't expecting that when I opened it up. She said, I was looking like I was looking from the top to the bottom, looking at your room, and I could see your room.
And when did you get this piece of mail, just so I'm putting this timeline together?
This was, okay, so me working out was in January of 21.
Okay.
Early stages of January in through the middle. I received this letter of October of 21, like September, October of 21. Okay, so it had been, I've already been home. Transplants happened. I've been home for a little while.
Okay.
So things were kind of back to normal.
Okay.
And so I get that letter, and I'm reading it, and she says she can look from top to bottom and see my room. And she said, I had these visions that there was these angels there at your bed, and they would go, their wings would touch tip to tip, and it encircled your bed. And I was going, okay, it's cool. And so she said, and, you know, I could see people, if the doctors came in or if a nurse came in, the angels would open up their wings, and then as they got next to your bed, they would shut the wings back. And she said, I saw this a couple of times. And I was like, okay. And she said, and then one day, I saw these angels, and they were circling your bed. She said, but then there were other angels that were inside the circle, and they were moving your arms so that you could get more air into your lungs. And I'm thinking, okay. And the part where I physically dropped the letter and was like, holy cow, was she said, and there were these angels moving your legs like you were riding a bicycle. And it took me back to me riding that bike. Because I'm sitting there thinking, God, I hadn't moved in 2.5 months. I physically couldn't sit up. It hurt to move. And yet when that bike was straddled over the bed, I rode a mile, mile and a half, 2 miles. Like wow. They brought this like a personal record chart. And every day I was trying to beat it. Every time they brought the bike in, I wanted to beat it. And you know, I'm a competitive individual and want to compete at all kinds of things. But I wanted to beat that record every day. But then they would come in and say, we just don't understand how you went from not being able to sit up, turn around, move, do this, do that, to riding the bike like this. And I remember reading that letter and thinking, God, you are amazing. Like I don't even know this woman. To this day, I still don't know this woman. I've never met her in my life. But she's writing this letter that's so detailed and explaining what's going on in that room.